Welcome back to another episode of my show. My name's Krosh. This show, yet to, I'm still like it's not. I'm not sure how to just call it KJP show. To be determined. I will like make a blanket like done. I'll commit to whatever I'm doing at some point soon, hopefully. But welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming in. This is now part two of the two-part extravaganza, my top 10 games of 2023. Thank you for joining me. I'm here. We went through the top 10 through 6 in the prior video. Went through my rationale there. Got you kind of amped up and ready for what I'm bringing to the table this video this week. This isn't a weekly thing. This video. And so strap in, buckle up, grab some popcorn, maybe a nice drink, and we're about to take you down a journey. Because I think my number 5 pick might upset some people. Not intentionally, just it is what it is. It's my list. This is not objective. Your list may vary. I implore you to disagree with me. I implore you to agree and give me reasons why. But let's start things off. Brace for impact because yeah, like I said, this first one is a little maybe not jarring. I'm not gonna hype. Oh my god, I can't believe. But at number 5 is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom by Nintendo. It's a fantastic game. Loved Breath of the Wild. Have been enjoying Tears of the Kingdom. I will, again, caveat that I have not completely finished. I've not 100%ed it, but I played all these games at different levels of experience, different levels of length, and I loved it. It was fantastic. It's in my top 5. So let's focus on the positive here. What I think this game does so well. Breath of the Wild, I think, set kind of the foundation for what this obviously did. And I feel like this fully realized that vision that Breath of the Wild set up. It was like like in hindsight now, that felt like a blueprint for what this was able to do. The verticality of the different levels. You have the base Hyrule, the Kingdom area. You have the higher planes, and then you have the Underdark, and just all the different shrines and puzzles and world that it just lets you and the tools you're able to use as well, the craftsmanship, the ingenuity, it just does so well. And I think just fully refined that idea. It sounds like they're not doing any more DLC. They're not planning on doing any DLC at all. I mean, it hasn't had any, and that they're planning to have the next Zelda game in the series be, or not series, but just in the Zelda IP, be something of a departure from this. They're leaving this, and so I think they have succeeded very much so in this. I think when time goes by, this could be one of the best games of all time. I definitely see an argument for that. I'm just speaking on my experience with it this year in terms of my best gaming experiences. It was good. It was great. Like the things I loved about Breath of the Wild, this added more to it. The shrines were some of my favorite things. I love the little mini puzzles that I could just jump in. The exploration. I feel like what I typically associate Legend of Zelda with is dungeons and puzzles. It still keeps the puzzles, but instead of exploring dungeons, it felt like I was just exploring the world. Like there was no just dungeon here. Not the shrines, the divine beasts. Those were little fun puzzles in the first one, and this one just feels like I don't want to do any combat. Combat is not enjoyable to me personally in this game and in the prior game, and that's just a personal thing. I definitely enjoy the exploration. I enjoy the shrine creativity, the puzzles, because I feel like there's always an intended approach, but it allows so much of flexibility in that I could go with this jankiest, silliest approach that could look ridiculous, and someone would be like, what monstrosity have you done, and why did you go about that way? It looks so much worse than what the intended way could have been. But that's just maybe how my brain works, and that happened several occasions for me with this game. And I love that it allows for that. I love that it just is like, you approached it that way, go, good for you. um and succeeded nonetheless. It feels like it's my link at that point. I love the expansion of the characters in the world and the time that's passed is amazing and is fun aspects of it. It's just the imagination that they've added with the new building mechanics and some of the new abilities that you have from your arm are fantastic. Is but all by in all, amazing game. I feel like all of the games I'm going forward from here on out is just games that I didn't find really anything wrong with. Is just more personal preferences and tastes and where they stand. And so for me, Tears of the Kingdom falls at number 5, and I loved it. And I'm gonna enjoy going more with it. I think, again, like I said, as time goes on, it's like a wine. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they can be enjoyed over long periods of time with a lot of longevity to it. So fantastic stuff. Loved it. At number 4, I have Sabotage Studios' Sea of Stars. I love the studio. First of all, got I had it my personal experience. I had a chance to meet them years ago. I believe it was 2017 when they released their first game, The Messenger, which was an homage to a different style of game with the Ninja Gaidens and the Metroidvanias and such. And they did their own spin on those things that they loved, and you could tell they loved those styles of games, those types of games. And this was almost that was a love letter to that. I felt like Sea of Stars here was a love letter to a different type of game. It felt like a love letter to the Chrono Triggers, to the Mario RPGs, to the Mario and Luigi Superstar Sagas, and those were games that I granted I haven't played. I'm not even going to go into this. I'm not even going to know what I haven't played, but I grew up loving the like Mario RPG, um, and always being jealous of my friend. I never had a Super Nintendo growing up, but I loved going over to my friends just to see it. That felt like a game that I was like, oh my god, this is something I like. This feels new. This feels adult in some way, while still or complicated. Not adult, like because I always thought of Gran Turismo as adult. I felt like Mario RPG was like the next thing because Super Mario was just that 2D jump across, and I was like, this is like a secret game with like new characters that I've never seen before and fun mechanics and great music. And then Superstar Saga, same thing, like this turn based. Like my brother would play it on his Game Boy Advanced and all these things, and it just those were amazing. I loved them, and when I got a chance to finally play both of those, one of them got a remade earlier this year too, Mario RPG. Fantastic games, and I love that style of RPG where it's turn based, but there's an interactivity to it. There's moments where you can make a move, do more damage or a bonus action, or you can dampen a blow from an enemy by pressing a button at the right time to block. And they become intuitive. They're unique to each enemy types. This captured all of what those types of games used to have and told its own story. And I feel like it was like a love letter to that, and I loved it. I loved the passion you could feel from the team from it. I love the experience of the story that they had created with this world, with this environment, with these characters. I love the moment to moment that you had with each of those fights. The music is fantastic as it was with Messenger. And also just the studio is it's more of like seeing this the path of this studio. Almost in my eyes, I'm hoping, I guess, going forward and it's separate from this game now, but in a similar way that Supergiant, the studio known for Bastion, for Hades, and for several other games as well, Pyre. Each game, while keeping their style, um, tries different genres, tries different mechanics, and I feel like that's what Sabotage Studio. They're not really tying themselves to any one genre or style of game. They're pursuing what they love, and they're just diving wholeheartedly into it, and you felt it. I feel like I definitely felt it with this game, and it was an amazing experience. I played largely on my Steam Deck. It was a great time. I know it's on Switch as well, and I just you when you see a game, in my eyes, my experience, when you see a game that the studios put so much energy into and so much love into, it kind of I feel like exudes to the player experience, and I felt that with here, and that's one of the big reasons, along with my personal interest in that style of game, why I feel like it's number 4 on my list of her best games of this year. And coming in at number 3 is a game that just kind of came up on me from the blind side. I remember just looking into games I may have missed this year. I was kind of looking for, oh, I've played all these larger games. Is there anything I missed before I kind of put my list together? And this one kind of came at the last minute. The game Dredge by Black Salt Games. This is a kind of a ship inventory simulator. You're a boating ship that you lost your ship and you come into this town and they offer to give you a boat and you just go fishing. And each time you go fishing, it's got little fun, but basic, not basic, but it's got a fun little fishing mechanic, but very minimal. But then you're just like trying to fit them all into your inventory, everything that you find, so you make the most out of each trek before you come back to sell your stuff to make improvements to your ship, repairs to your ship. But kind of what elevated it was, I don't know, it's what exactly how to describe it. I'm still trying to decipher, but the other aspect of this game I should before I go any further, but is while this is all the basis of the game, the story elements are there's like a Cthulhu Eldritch horror narrative happening. When you go out at night, weird stuff starts happening. You see things that may not be there. Some may be there. Stories are being told by other people that live on the various islands you're kind of supporting and and meeting along the way, and you're helping them with their own little quests. And so like that's the backdrop. That's the tone that's kind of captured. So as I'm going out, and if as the story goes on more and more, the madness kind of takes more and more of a hold of you, and so you see it day or night now. And I enjoy it. Like that was a perfect backdrop. I love that. One little anecdote I wanted to share was I decided one night to finally watch the film The Lighthouse, with William Defoe and Robert Pattinson, and I was like, you know what, I'll play this game when I can, like kind of just casually, because some of the fishing parts you could just, I'm just gonna go out and do a bunch of fishing, get a bunch of money, and make some upgrades, and I was very minimal, so I was able to just pay attention to the movie, and it was the perfect pairing, and I was like, this I like it just made me fall in love with it more, just this ambiance and tone it had that like it's eerie without being while also being like addictive. It had the upgrading and stuff that kind of drew me to what I the same feeling I got when I was playing Animal Crossing, New Horizons, where it's just these little things you do to improve your ship, to improve to run quests for the people in the towns and the villages and the lighthouses, and just the it was enjoyable. Doing all that minutia was enjoyable and it was fun, and it just felt like I was constantly working towards something in the way that I feel like players sometimes get from playing an MMO. You're doing grinding out quests, you're grinding out skill trees or classes. This has been that where I'm enjoying just trekking the ocean, going between islands, kind of enjoying that atmosphere in a way that when they told me this, when I looked up this game is supposed to maybe be 10 to 11 hours, I'm now like 15 plus hours. I don't know where I'm at with the story. I'm just enjoying, like, I just want to play a little bit more, upgrade this aspect of my ship with the tow line so I can get 4 more fishing rods so that my engines can like go faster whenever I'm in a certain island area. It's enjoyable, and it's a great indie game. Highly recommend it. It has, again, kind of captured me and enthralled me, and I love it. And I can't wait to play more of it. And I know that there's already expansions as well, so little extra islands and stuff that I feel like just more different types of fish, and with each fish you can also get like the horrified versions of them or petrified versions of them and stuff. So I love this. I love the combination of, again, of the gameplay with the storytelling and what it's trying to convey to me. It's its own way unique, much to what I was describing in my prior video with Inside and with Cocoon. I love when games try to different to make their experience unique in how it takes the gameplay that engaging with and the story or the narrative that it's trying to convey to me. Any new ways in which the games try to do that and do it in a successful fashion, especially, I feel like should be applauded and recognized, and that's why Dread Dredge is my number 3 game of 2023. Going in to number 2 is a DLC. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty is my number 2 game of 2023. This expansion, this DLC, I think, it can be played standalone in a lot of ways, but it's enhanced obviously by the base campaign. I think what it does so well, is it captures, having also beaten the base game earlier this year. I took a break between the DLC and the base game. The base game, the initial missions and the final missions were some of the best kind of stories moments in a first person RPG I felt in a long time. I remember Fallout 3 and New Vegas being some of the ones I draw to largely. I felt like what it did here with Phantom Liberty is it took that first and last parts of the base Cyberpunk and just made the whole DLC campaign the highest points of all of that. And so it starts strong, it ends strong. The middle is enticing and engaging. The character moments are fantastic. The growth you see of different characters. You think you're on one side, you might be on another. I'm swayed. I'm torn between motives, and all the while it's telling this story that feels so intentional with these characters and with where you play in them. I feel like it allowed for so much agency in how I wanted to play my character, my V, in this world and with these characters. The dialogue I chose, the decisions I've made along the way, just all of it was just, I thought this is going to be the benchmark for what, in a way where I used to think like Fallout and maybe Witcher and what's it called, Mass Effect. That's what I thought of with like RPGs, and stories with these larger stories. I felt like the way this had with its story and the way it's allowed for that agency while still telling a larger story just works so well. It felt so fun. The quality of life improvements that came along with this DLC were also applauded from me. I love just the freedom. Like I've never played a Grand Theft Auto, and this like was probably one of my favorite experiences. Just going through the towns, zooming across, random thing happens, just taking part in it, while also feeling like I'm in this world, being a part of it, and having the missions all mean something to me. I enjoyed it, every minute of it. Fantastic experience. Cannot recommend it enough. Number two game of 2023 for me. And I kind of think it goes, maybe most people saw this coming, maybe it didn't, but just so you know where I'm coming from, my number one game of 2023 is a game I've been looking forward to for a long time. Um, and that game is Baldur's Gate 3 by Larian Studios. Uh, my brother, cousin, and and this kind of allowed me to discover this, was the three of us, we play online, because we all live far from one another. And we always try to find games that we all enjoy. And we would go from Apex to a couple, I don't know, some other like Wildermyth, and we've done Gunfire Reborn. We've tried Halo. We've tried all kinds of games. The game that just we always draw back to all of our favorite memories playing games together onward, and we chase now whenever we try to find a new game, is Divinity Original Sin 2. It's been some of the best memories I've had with them playing games and just having fun and just gaming experiences. And when we finished that and we played through multiple other times as well, when we heard that they're doing Baldur's Gate 3 and what they were going to do with it, I was like, I cannot wait. So we were just frothing at the mouth waiting for it. And then when it finally came, well, granted our time has not been as available, but we've the enjoyment I've had with this game in the limited time I've been able to spend with it has been everything I've wanted to be added on to that experience. And I think in many ways, just as its own product, it's almost been like the Breath of the Wild for this type of RPG. This just RPGs, maybe even in general, but especially this type of RPG where if you want to do something, if you want to do anything, I feel like Breath of the Wild was like, go try it, do it, see what happens. This game feels like it does the same sort of encouraging and enticing that you would want to do in this world. Do you want to try and attack that enemy? See what happens. Do you want to try this dialogue tree? If you do it with this character with this ability, see what happens. It feels, and in that vein, also from the other side of it, it is D&D. It feels like D&D as close as it could get in a gaming format. And so that freedom, that flexibility, that care, even though it allows for that freedom, each interaction you have with a character feels like it's voiced. There's consequences. There's things that they're like, they might do this. We're gonna create something. It's not game breaking. Um, it's amazing, and so it celebrates it, and I love that it just allows for that. I have so much flexibility. I can respect my character, may go from a bard monk to a necromancer fighter. Who knows? Like any combination of things I want, and I love all of the groundwork that they did with Divinity Original Sin 2 and before that with other games, just constantly building and iterating and playtesting this in early access and then finally reaching to what it is just it shows the care, the hard work, and I've again could not applaud it more. It's everything I want out of it. It's my own personal love of these things. I love tactical RPGs, and so whenever combat comes in, that's my favorite kind of stuff. I played a ton of them this year too. Advanced Wars reboot came back. Midnight Suns was a fun one. Chaos Gate, the Warhammer Chaos Gate was fantastic. They all, I feel like there was one thing that was like, oh, if it did this, which is like Divinity, or if it did this, like this, the co-op that it allows for you to do, the ways you can all kind of take part in the story, um, the difficulties, the interactions of the elements. Like if I lay oil down, it burns, and just it could set something else off with another character's ability. It's just a joy. It's an absolute joy, and I could not recommend it enough. That's why it's my number one game, 2023, without any hesitation, without any doubt. But all of these games have been fantastic. It's been a great year for games I played. I've lost track of how many games I played this year. Let me see. Completion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 games this year. And these were my top 10. Um, Amazing ones. I want to give a quick honorable mention to a few. Pikmin 4 was fantastic. Armored Core was great. What else we got? Advanced Wars Reboot, Mario RPG were fantastic. I did enjoy Hi-Fi Rush. Fire Emblem Engage was fun. Persona 5 Tactica is great. And a lot of the other games, Midnight Suns was fun too. A lot of the other games I played were from prior years, games that I just wanted to try for the first time or revisit. It was my first time playing World of Warcraft this year, so that was cool. Kingdom Hearts was also a first this year. So a lot of just like I was getting all kinds of gaming experiences this year, and I enjoyed all of them. It really felt like I was trying some new things, revisiting some things I love, experiencing things I love in new ways, combinations of things I didn't even think I would love but fell in love with. And so I think overall it's been a great year for gamers to experience. I know that there's been a lot of hardships for the game developers, and that's kind of it feels bittersweet because I want to celebrate games in a lot of ways here with how many amazing things came out this year. But I think it's important that we always recognize the studios that develop them, the hard work they put in, whether they're an individual, one person studio or a small team, to a larger group like Nintendo, or to some teams that have grown over the years through hard work and through successes like Larian Studios. Just all of them are doing amazing work, and it just that's the big thing I want to celebrate with this, is that it takes a lot of effort and work, and I want to recognize that. And so the things I enjoyed from these games are from just some of the accolades and some of the studios that really I think excelled in that regard. And so I want to celebrate all of them, and I hope that more places recognize the hard work they put into them, and celebrate them as much as their games. And so thank you to all the studios that I've recognized here. I'll be sending out your awards soon. We'll be in touch. We'll call. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this two-parter. It's a little longer than maybe, or I don't know. Maybe we'll sit around the 20-25 minute or so. Depends on the video. But it was an end of year top 10 two parts. So it's a lot. I want to give you my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Again, any feedback you got, love to hear it. Until next time, catch you on the next one.